Deeper Dive. Real excited about, we're starting a new series, How It's Made. It kind of goes off of the How It's Made public broadcasting kind of TV show. You know, they take items and they show you the industry and the construction behind them. And really, this is a leadership series for us here at the church. And God's Word has a lot to say, more so Christ's example in servanthood than leadership. But no one is a better example of leading people than Jesus. And the foreshadowing text, really the most famous text in all of the Old Testament, maybe one of the most famous texts in all the Bible, would be Psalm 23. We're looking at the Good Shepherd as we start this series out. And we always promise you, if you dive into Deeper Dive, we're going to have some other resources for you. And so, man, as I'm preparing, got my notes here for this weekend's sermon. Really excited about what God's going to be doing. I want to tell you about a couple resources that we won't get to during the messages this weekend. But one is, it's a book called Leadership, The Way of the Shepherd. It's written by Kevin Lehman and William Pentak. Fun read, fast read, really good kind of allegorical look at Psalm 23 and applying that to just leading people. So if you lead on the playground, if you lead on the soccer field, if you lead in the office, wherever you're leading, incredible resource to dive a little bit deeper. It's on my shelf. I've gone to it numerous times. Great book. And another one that we did talk about, we will talk about here coming up this weekend as I'm preparing today on Saturday, but A Shepherd Looks at Psalm 23. Incredible book. This guy here, Phillip Keller, grows up in East Africa by the sea and is a shepherd. Goes on to become a scientist and a pastor, and his insight into what a shepherd does and all of the metaphors for us and the depth, the richness of who Christ is in our life as the Good Shepherd. This is an incredible book. Fast read. I've had this on my shelf for a long time. I've used it in numerous messages. Incredible book. Pick this up, Phillip Keller, and read it. You will be blessed. One thing just to kind of prepare us for the week that I know we're not going to talk about this weekend, but it matters is, and it really kind of sums up the whole message that we'll be kind of putting our minds on this week. This idea in Psalm 23 where it says, Jesus as the Good Shepherd is leading us to this, to still waters. To still waters. Now, waters are not always still. Many times waters are rushing. You ever try to take a drink from a hose and the hose is going so crazy and you just want a cool, fresh drink of water, but what you don't want is to get water all over you and be drenched? Well, there's this passage that it comes to mind from Revelation chapter 7, verse 17. This is this is the picture of that which is to come, and it's Psalm 23 foreshadows it a bit. It says this in verse 17. For the Lamb in the midst of the throne will be their shepherd. Jesus, the Lamb given for us, he's our shepherd. Remind you of Psalm 23? Listen to this. He will guide them to springs of living water. And then there's a description that comes after. How does he guide us? Like, what's that look like when he guides us to these streams of living water? It looks like this. Here's how it ends. And God will wipe away every tear from their eyes. I hope this week that we dive deeper into Psalm 23 and it just rests on our hearts. We have a good shepherd.